So yesterday I said how to organize. Yeah, this is what we have seen, like how to work with the entry widget. And after that, I said layouts, like how to work with the place and pack and grid. Okay. And then we have seen like how to work with this different layouts. Okay. And after that, we started one simple application. Like I want to develop this a simple calculator like this. So let me tell you how to read data and how to write data within entry field. Okay, how to read and write the data in entry field. Okay, now entry field provide various methods. Okay, entry field provide various methods for reading and writing here. This is so what we have seen is think okay, now this is a program might be somewhere we have saved. So if you see this, right, yesterday's code, I just opened the yesterday's code and let me tell you this, how this will work here. Yeah, this is what yesterday we have seen. So let us complete this and then we'll see one small capstone project. Okay. And first I'll tell you what we are doing it and then we'll try to develop the application here. Yeah, so here, first thing is now there is a button one. So when you click on this button one, now you need to call a function called add. You're calling the function called add. So in add, what you have to do is you have to read the values of in add, you have to read the values of entry field 1 and entry field 2. Okay, you have to read the values of entry field 1 and entry field 2. And here we should add one more label. And this is one more label you have to add it. So label 3. But what is the label 3 here is for result, right? So label within window and text equal to result here. So here we need to put the result, right? The result and font I'm giving it something like Arial and some 15 here. Okay, then I need to write entry field 3. So tk dot entry within window and here I'm just giving the width of this field some 5. Okay, now I think we have to add this entry field. So I'll make this row as a 4. This is 4 and this is 5. So here I'm not organizing it. Okay, I just put this randomly here as a grid of rows and columns. And here I'm writing lbl3 dot grid. So here I'm writing row 3 and column 0 and entry field 3 dot grid. Okay, row 3 and this is column 1 because we're required to display the result. Okay, we're required to display the result. Right, for that I've just taken this one more field. Now if you run this, if you run this, if you run this code, see here, if you run this code, you can see like this. Now where you try to input the numbers, but these are not with equivalent width. So if you want, you can put with equivalent width here. Okay, you can have an equivalent width here, but now I'm not writing equivalent width here, right? So you can define the width, label width, okay, entry field width. Okay, you can define the width, equivalent width. You can go for it, but it is not with the same width. See, if you want button is there, you want button with some width, you can define here by saying width. So width equal to some 10. Okay, see here, I just given width is a 10. So what will happen is it will try to increase the width of the button. Okay, so it will try to increase the width of the buttons here. Add. Okay, so but I'm not formatting. Okay, you want this is 15. So this is entry field width. Okay, so you can define the width of all equal widths you can take here. Okay, width is given, and you can also define the height. Okay, width of the button and height of the button, right? So you can see now where I input two numbers and then I click on add. So once I click on add, I should add these two values and should put in result. If I click on multiply, then it should multiply these two numbers and it should display it, right? Okay, it should multiply and display that into a result. Okay, then how can you do that? Multiply and division. Okay, right. So see here. So what I'll do is I'll try to read. No, I make it as this only. I'll make it as this only. Okay, I'll make it as this only. Add. So I'll try to read the values. No problem. We can you can put in label also. No problem. That is read only. But I can make it as entry field or you can display in label also. Yes, no problem. Ramesh, yes. But how can I read the data? I can read the data by using a method called get. E1 dot get and value 2 equal to E2 dot get. Okay, E1 dot get and I'm saying E2 dot get. Okay, E1 dot get and E2 dot get. So here we read the values. Okay, after reading the values, what we have to do? We have to add it. Value 1 plus value 2. So after adding these two values, you have to put this result into what? Another entry field. That entry field is what here? Entry field 3. So here I'll say entry field 3 dot insert. You have to use insert here. Okay, insert. Now the entry field work like a string. Here entry field is like a string. Entry field is like a string. Entry field 3 dot insert. Now I'm inserting from 0 onwards. But the value what you're inserting, it should be of what type of string. But the result is which type? Some integer or float. Okay, right? But whenever you read the value using get, so entry field is like a string, right? So when you say get, it returns string. But when I say plus, will it do addition or concatenation? Concatenation. But I want to do addition. Okay, then I try to use a function called eval. I try to use a function called what here? Eval. Eval is a function. So why I'm using eval? Because you give any value, it should convert into a specific type, because eval generally it is used for evaluating a expression represented as string. If the string contain integer, then it converts into integer. If string contain the float, then it converts into float. If the string contain the complex number, then it converts into complex. Okay, then you are doing addition here, and the result should be converted into what? String. Str of value 3. So before that, I need to delete it. If any result, existing result is there, okay, if any existing result is there, yeah, particular type written through eval, yes. If any existing result is there, I should delete that first. Already existing result, if it is there, I should delete first that. You can use a method called delete. So delete, you should delete from where? Like you should delete the entire entry field. Okay, then you can give delete from first to last, means I'm saying 0, comma, I can say tk dot. You can delete from 0 to end. End means if you don't know the length, you can delete from beginning to what here? Ending. Why we are converting value to the string? Because entry field is of type which one? String. And within a string you can insert only string. Inside a string you can insert only string, right? So entry field is of which type? String actually. Okay. So because of that you are trying to convert this into a string. And when you're saying string, string means like is a sequence and whose index starts at what? 0. Is you are inserting in entry field from which position onwards? 0 onwards. Okay. And you're deleting the text from 0 to till end. So why you deleting? Because if existing result is there, you should delete that result and put new result, right? So that is where you are saying 0. 0 is the index. The starting index you have given as what? 0 here, right? So same code I should copy here also. Same code here also, but this time it is what here? Minus. And same code here also. Okay, right? So, but only one thing is changed, that is you can write one function to read data and return the values instead of repeating this code 2 times. Okay, every time you are repeating this code, right? So you can write in one function and you can return those values. But here I'm writing it again and again. Okay, now here also I just put, sorry. So division function, and here star is there. Star is for multiplying. Star is for multiplying. And here again I put code. Yes. And this is for division here. This is for division. So let me run this code. Okay, now I try to input 10 and 20, and if I click on add, what is the result is 30, and sub is minus 10, multiply is 200, division is what? 0.5. So what will happen if I don't write here delete? Suppose if you take add function, I just comment this delete. I'm not deleting, the previous result will not be deleted, right? So if I'm writing 10 and 20 and add, this is 30. And again, if I say 200, if I say add, previous result will be there. See, 210 and then what? 30. So that previous value we have to delete, right? The previous result has to be deleted when you put new result. So for that you are deleting the previous. And how you are deleting the previous? By using delete. You are deleting previous by using delete. String to number. not number to string. Okay, string to number. So string expression represented as string, expression represented as string into a number. So whatever expression is there within the string, okay, that result is written. If the string contain integer, it returns integer. If the string contain float, then it returns float. If the string contain any other type, then it returns that type. It returns that type. Okay, right? So that is done by, okay, yeah, that is what you are exactly doing it. Okay. So I think you understood like how to read the data. Okay, when to use eval is now if I'm using here integer, right? If I'm using integer, so it converts input data only into which type? Integer type. Yes or no? Suppose if I input 1.5, then will it convert that into integer? No. No, if I enter 1.5, how it converts? It gives error. Whenever you convert a string to integer, the string should contain which value? Integer value. Okay, so this get method, what it is returning? String, but that string should contain integer. But if it is having float, if the string contain float, can you write like this? This is valid. If I'm writing integer of within double quotes 1.5, integer of within double quotes 1.5, error, right? This is not possible, right? Okay, then the string should contain only integer. The string contain only integer, right? So then only you can convert. But any type I want to convert into a same type, a specific type, then I can go for eval. So if it is having string contain integer, it returns integer. If string contain float, then it returns float. So such cases you can go for which function? Eval. Such cases you can go for which function? Eval, right? So this is a simple one where we read the data, we read the data, but how we read the data by using which method? Get method. How we read the data using which method? Get method. Get method is used for reading data. Okay, right? And if you want to write the data within the text field, you are trying to use a method called insert. Like you have a methods like insert, append also for adding it, right? So various methods provided by this entry field. Okay, right? Yes. Let us talk about, yes. Yeah, because from where to where you want to delete. For where to where you want to delete, you have to define the, so from beginning. Now what is the starting index of the string 0? And you don't know what is the length is. Then you can just use one predefined variable called end, that is provided by which one? Tk. So that is nothing but Tkinter library. Okay. So it is provided by Tkinter library. Okay. Yes. Understood? Dear students. Right. So let me, yeah, let me copy this. Then it raises error. If you enter characters, then definitely it raises the error. Okay, because it doesn't gives any error, but you cannot convert that string into, or you can perform any arithmetic, right? So you can use exception handling here, right? If you input any other value, then you have to handle it by using what here? Exception handling. Okay, right? So this is what you are trying to do it. Okay. So let me exceptions here. Yes, you can use exception handling. Okay. So let me tell you about this. We'll take some simple application and we'll try to develop it. Okay, by using Tkinter. Okay, simple capstone project. Okay, right? Any application you can take it, but I'm saying no. Uh, for GUI compulsory, you have to use Tkinter. So without interface, you cannot develop any project, right? Without interface, you cannot develop any project. Compulsory should have that, right? Okay. Yes. Now we'll have a simple application we'll develop with the backend as a database. Okay. So here I'll take a simple application, a simple one. So later we'll go for a complex, but now I'm taking a simple one where we'll take a student related so that it becomes very easy for you and you can also understand easily. Okay, right? We'll take one simple project called capstone project called like a simple one I'm taking. Okay, first is we'll have a like this student, but I'm using a database. Okay, I'm using database as a backend. Now this is nothing but some student information system here, which is called as some SAS. Okay, okay, right. So we'll have a simple, simple and easiest one. Okay, right. We'll have this student information system. So where you are trying to now what exactly this system or this application is doing is okay. So this is nothing but the functionality because when you're doing it, you should know functionality. Now functionality of student information system is okay. The first one is you are trying to collect the data of the student, like creating a new students. Okay, adding new students. Okay, and this is nothing but collecting student data and storing. Okay, storing inside database. Okay, and second one is like which is called as updating student information. Okay, so this allows to modify existing student data. And third one is viewing the records. I mean, viewing the student details. Okay, so this is nothing but displaying student information. Okay, the next one is like searching facility, searching student details. But who uses this? Not by the student. It is used by the person who work in the school or college. Okay, searching student details using using a primary key or ID. And next one is like deleting. So deleting student details, right? So this is nothing but removing student record from database. Okay. Now we'll just develop this first so that a simple thing with the backend. So here we are using this system is used by a school to manage the student details or student information. Okay. Okay, student information. So I'm just saving this. Okay, right. So here you are using now you are developing a front end. Okay, this is everything is done using Python and Tkinter. It is a standalone application, and here you are using a database. And what is the database you are using is SQLite, because this is a default database which comes with the Python software. That is an SQLite, lightweight database, right? Yeah. So this is what we are doing. Now, see, first I've taken simple, and then we'll go for complex things, like where you can do manipulations and all the things. But here, now we are trying to perform some, what do you call it as crude operations. We are trying to perform some crude operations here, right? Now here we are trying to write everything inside one one program by dividing into number of functions. Okay. So that you can understand like how you develop it by dividing into functions here. Okay, right? Okay, right? So let us start with this. You understood what you are doing it? All of you. You understood what you are doing it? Yes? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Very good. Yeah, don't raise a hand. If anything is there, all students, view student details means all the students, and this is searching for a specific student, right? Any database, we can use any database. You want to use MySQL? Okay, let us take any database you can use, no problem. Okay, you want me to MySQL? Okay, use MySQL. So you can use any database. Now here I'm using MySQL database. Okay, right. Okay. 1 minute. So first thing what you have to do is, now you have to create the backend. That is a database you have to create. Okay, right? So just open the MySQL connector. Open the MySQL connector here. Okay. So MySQL command line. Open the MySQL command line. And here you need to create database. First database. In the database you have to create what? Table. Right? So now to create database, you know it. Create database and database name. Now student information system and user database. Sorry, user database. What is a database is student information system. Now in this, I don't have any tables. Now you have to create a table. Now you have to create a table with details. Okay, you have to create a table with the details. Now I'm saying create table. So create table and table name, the table which you want to create it. So I want to create a table called student. I want to create a table called student, and what student is having is ID. Okay, I take roll number, which is nothing but ID or anything, and roll number I'm taking it as integer or varchar will take. So A123 B123 like that you can give. So I just given roll number as a varchar, some 10, okay, or integer. Okay, we'll have an integer. Okay, we'll take this as integer. But if you want to give I mean A, B, C, D like that, then it is difficult, right? So roll number is varchar and 10, and this is primary key I've taken. And the next one is name. So I just taken 25, and this should be not null. Okay, and then after that, now you need to put all the details, whatever details you want it, like this is date of birth, and all the things you can take. Is taking admission in which course. So course I've taken some varchar, some 20, and this is also compulsory. This is not null. Okay, and then date of joining. Yeah, but this is one table I'm taking. First I start with the simple. First only if I'm taking 2 3 tables, it will be difficult, right? So first I start with one table, and then we'll use 2 3 tables and join and get the data. Okay, but first we start with one table and then we'll go for multiple tables. Okay, right. Okay, so here I'm taking data of joining. Okay, data of joining, which is varchar 2, some 12, and this is also not null, right? Yeah, I've taken varchar. Why I've taken varchar? Because suppose you enter some A101 or A123, B123 like that. Okay, so because of that I've taken roll number as a varchar. Your wish. You can give anything, right? So I just enter the fees, and fees is a float, right? The fees is what your float. So I've taken only 1 2 3 4 5, but here we are taking only one module. Here we are using only one module. One module means in a school, okay, we are taking only one operation. Which operation? Student operation. Means student join in the school. Then the school management, what they'll do, they'll put all the details into database. Whenever they want, they modify it. Whenever they want, they delete it. Whenever they want, they just search details of that student. It is just like admission process. This is just admission process. Okay. Once he's taken admission, he'll do all these things. Okay. So who uses this application? The person who working in school. Okay. The person who work in school, he use this particular application. You don't use it. It is used by, you are developing for one school or one college or something. Okay, now it is not web, it is a standalone, and this application has to be installed in that school and in the system where that person is working it, right? Okay, understood, dear students? Clear? Okay, so yeah, yeah, you can create like that also, no problem. Okay, so date of birth also I've taken varchar, but you can take it as a date, no problem. Okay, na? You can use that as a, yes, no problem. Okay, right? Understood? Right. See, structure of the table, your wish. How many fields you want it, that is your wish. No problem. So there is no rule, but I'm just giving you idea. There is no rule like you have to store only these details. Suppose you'll take a lot of details like date of birth. Okay, you'll take gender. Lot of things you'll take it. But I'm not using all the things, right? Okay. But I'm just giving an idea of it, right? So from import Tkinter, you have to import Tkinter as TK, and I tried to import MySQL dot connector. MySQL dot connector as what here? MySQL. Okay, MySQL dot connector as MySQL. You can write this code in VS Code or here, no problem. Anywhere you can write it. Okay, only the editor changes. Run the module. Just verify is it working? This imported modules or not. Now is it this imported modules working, right? Okay. Then first one is I declare one variable here called connection. I declare one variable called connection. Now this connection is global. Okay, because you have to establish connection to a database. Okay. So here I just declare one variable. So what is the name of this variable? Connection. No, I'm using MySQL. Avijit Das. I'm using MySQL. I created already. In MySQL, already I created here. See, already I created. Okay. SQLite you can directly create from here only. Create database. Okay, and database name you can do like that. Now I write here one function called okay, one function I'm writing. What is the name of the function is? Okay, get connection. So what is the name of the function is? Get connection. Okay, and here I'm trying to connect it to database. So connection equal to MySQL dot connect, and you have to supply different things: database, student information system, and username is a root. My database username is root, and database password is again root, and where your database is running, right? So that is a host. I am just writing here local host, and the port number of this database. What is the port of the MySQL? What is the port of MySQL? 3306. Okay, now this is the port number of this database. Then, so this is connection, and this will return. You don't require because connection is which variable? Global variable. Connection is which variable? Global variable. Connection is which variable? Global variable. Then how can I access global is by using global CL. Okay, we are assigning this to a global variable. I just write here global CL, right? Yes. Yeah, anything you can use. Whichever database you want to use it. Here I use a global keyword to assign it, right? And you can also create a cursor object here. But here I'm not making the cursor as a global because for every function I try to create a cursor where I execute an SQL statement. Okay. Now here I'm writing all the functions. The first function is create a student. Okay, and second function is update student. Okay, now these functions I'm trying to, yeah. First function is create a student and second one is update student. Here I'm not writing the code, I'll write it. Okay, this is nothing but list students. Okay, and there is a search student. There is a search student, and there is a function called delete student. But these functions you have to write it. Okay, all these functions you have to develop. Now here I'm writing a main window or main function. In main function, first I'm calling a function called get connection, because the first thing we have to establish connection to what database. So I call the function called get connection. Okay. So here I call the function called get connection, and that will establish connection to what here database. That will establish connection to a database, right? So what is the name of the function is get connection. Okay. So that is the name of the function here. Okay. Okay. So the name of the function is get connection, right? So that is a function which establishes connection to the object connection. That will establish the connection here, right? And return the connection. It will return what here? Connection. So for that, I'm using a function called get connection here. Okay, right. Now this is a main window. I'm writing a main window. So main window, MW I said. Main window equal to tk.tk. Now this is a main window. And then after that, I'm saying tk.title. I'm just writing student information system. Okay, student information system. Okay. Then after that, now tk dot, yeah, I define the size of it. So main window dot title. So main window dot, what is the name of this is geometry, and define the size. Okay, define the size of this window. I'm giving some width, and this is a width and this is a height, and okay, there is a width and height. I've defined the width, some width and height. So 300 into 300, that is width and height. Then you can define the place where you want to place it, in the screen where you want to place it. I want to place like 300 and some 300. We'll just check this. Everything I've taken 300 only. So main. So call the main function here, right? So once you run this, now this is a window which is displayed. Okay, the window displayed, and I just increase the width. So I've just taken the width as a 400 here. Now, now this is a window. Now here, what I'm doing is I'm creating some buttons. Okay, so number of buttons B1 equal to tk dot button within main window comma. So I'm writing a text. What is the text is create a student. Text is create a student, and I just define the font. So font is like Arial sum 15, and you can give the foreground color, but I'm not using any colors right now. If you want, you can format it. Okay, so like that, I create button 2, button 3, button 4, button 5. So there is a number of buttons here. B2, B3, B4, and one more is a B5. So second one is, what is the second one is update student. Okay, the third one is list students, and fourth one is, okay, search students, and fifth one is delete student. Okay, so I've taken number of buttons here. Okay, but what is the method I use? Get connection and all the things. And these buttons has to be placed. Button one dot pack. Button one dot pack. What you have to use here? Pack. So pack method, what it accepts side, right? What is the keyword argument? Side top. And I want these buttons to be stretched, right? Then how how you are doing this? I want it should be stretched horizontally and vertically. Then what you are using? Fill. Fill what? Both are fill what? Both are not. Yes. TK dot. Okay. TK dot. So what is the name of the variable? Both. So that is horizontally and vertically. Okay. So you take number of again. So I'll place all the buttons here. Okay. So there are five buttons. I place all this button, button 2, button 3, button 4. And there is one more button called what here? 5. But here we place all these buttons at the top. Now when you run this, top, top should be tk dot top, right? Okay. You can write in string also, no problem. And you can take one constant variable exist in Tkinter module called top. Okay. Within string also you can write top, or you can take constant variable here. You can take create student, update student, list student, search student, and one more is what? Delete student. Okay, right? All these buttons are placed. Okay. So when I click on this create a student, then it should open one window, right? Yes, if I click on create student, it should open what one window. Yeah, this is a top. You can write in string also, right? You can write in string also, but I've written like this. If you are trying to execute in other editors, you have to write main window dot something like main loop. Yes or no? So that will make your window active. So for that, you have to write main window dot main loop. So it is keep on executing and listen all the events, right? So if you click on create student, now first I'm developing create student. If you click on create student, then it should call the function. So which function it should call? The create student function should be called. Okay, now command. How can I call this? By saying command. I'm writing here command. So command equal to, so command equal to, what is the name of the function is create a student. So the command is what here create student. This function has to be called. When if I click on the button create, if I click on the button create student, then I should call the function. Which function has to be called? Create student function has to be called. Okay. Now here we have to create what? Student. But for creating student, we should input data or not? Tell me. For creating student, we should input data or not? Yes. For that, we are required to generate or create a window. Okay. We should create one window now. In that window, we should input the data. We should create one window, and in that, we should input data, right? We should input the data. In that window, we should input the data, and whatever data we input, that data has to be stored in the database. Yes or no? That data has to be stored within the database. This process we have to write here. So we need to create a window. So let us create. Okay, let us create a window. So that will allows you to, okay, let us create a window. This is window 1. I'm just taking window 1 equal to tk dot some tk window 1 dot title. What is the title is create a student. This is a title. Now you required labels. Now what labels we required? Roll number, name, course, date of joining, fees. Okay. So there is a label. Now I just take the labels like roll number label. Anything you can write it. But if the names should be meaningful, tk dot label within window 1, and here I'm giving a text. What is the text is roll number, and I'm trying to give the font, any font name you can use it. Okay. So name underscore label and tk dot label within window, and text is what here name. Text is a name, and define the font here. Yes. So I'm writing here 15, and there is a course label. There's a course label tk dot. So tk dot label within window, and text is a course, and here I'm giving a font, some Arial, and I just gave 15. And there is a fee label, fee date of joining. Okay, date of joining label. Okay, tk dot label within window 1, text is, so this is date of joining. Okay, so again I've given font, and there is some Arial, and given some 15, and then sorry, so there is a fee label tk dot. I'm writing a label inside the window 1. Now what is the text is fee. So there is a font. There's a font, and you have an Arial and some 15. Okay. Then we required a button 1. tk dot button 1. This is button 1 window, and text is add. Okay, text is add. Again I've taken some Arial and 15. Button 2 equal to tk dot button window 1 text, and this is close. So font I just given Arial some 15. Okay, now we need to organize, but I'm organizing in the same way. Roll number label dot pack, side is what here, top. I'm writing like this. and fill equal to what here? Both. So I'm writing like this. Next line is labels we placed, right? And we required entry fields. We required entry fields. So E1 is an entry field where you try to input roll number. So window 1, and I've taken width, some width I've given here. Some width I've given, some width is 20, or you can take the maximum width, whatever width it is available, right? So you can take a font, and you are using Arial here, and there is a 15. TK dot entry field all the things I'll take same. I'll just copy here. Now there is entry field 2, entry field 3, entry field 4, and this is entry field 5. Okay. Now E1 dot back. Okay, side equal to top, and fill equal to what here? Both. And next one is name label LBL dot pack. Below that you'll get this, and side equal to top, and then fill equal to what here? Both. And entry field 2 dot, I'm writing here pack, and side equal to top, and I'm writing fill equal to what here? Both. So course underscore label dot pack, side equal to top again, and I'm writing fill equal to what again? Both. Entry field 3 dot pack, side equal to top again, and fill, I'm writing here both. Horizontal and vertical. Date of joining label, date of joining label dot pack, and side equal to top, side equal to top. I said yes, side equal to top, and then fill equal to what here? Both. Then entry field 4 dot pack, side equal to top, you are saying fill, you are trying to fill both. Then so fee label dot pack, fee label dot pack, and side equal to top, and fill equal to what here? Both. Now entry field 5 dot pack here, and side equal to top, and fill equal to both. See, this is how you need to write the code. Then buttons also you have to pack it. Saying pack, okay, right? Then button 2 dot pack, side is a top, and fill in both the directions. Okay. Now this window, they have not given the size. This window size is not given. See here. This window size is not given. I run the code. See here. If I click on create student, now you can see it is displayed like this, where I input roll number. Okay, I input roll number, and I input what here? Name. I input the course. I input the date of joining. Okay, right? Okay, date of joining, and then I input what here? Fees. Then click on the buttons like add, and one more is what? Close. But are you given the size of this window? No. The size of the window is taken based on Okay, the size of window is taken based on how the size of the window is taken based on. Yes. Now you should make resizable. You don't want resizable, then make it as true. But if I maximize it, now it is occupy complete space because I said fill, right? I said fill. Okay, I said fill. So you can give the size and you can make it as fixed by saying resizable, width cannot be resizable, height cannot be resizable. If I click on close, then I should close the button, right? Close the window. Okay. So what I can do is I can put one more button here. What is that? Close. Okay. So here I try to define the window one dot. What is that? Geometry. So where I define the width and height, where I define the width and height, and window one dot resizable. Okay, window one dot resizable. Correct? Resizable. Window one dot resizable. True, comma true means you cannot able to increase the size or decrease the size. Now run the code here. Now create student. Oh, resizable. What is the name of the method? Resizable only. Window. What is the method I said? Window one dot resizable only. Tell me what is the method name? Spelling mistake. Okay, I'm writing a true and a true. Okay, then run this module. Now create. Yes. Now you cannot increase the size or you cannot decrease the size, right? Hmm. Now these are two buttons here. Okay. Yes. You cannot increase. You cannot increase. A false we have to make it at, right? Yes. True means resizable can be done, but I don't want. Then I should make this as what here? False. It means you cannot increase the size. You cannot decrease the size. Okay. There's no maximize here. See, there's no maximize, right? Fine. Once you click on this, you get this. Then next is when you click on this button, what is the name of this button? Add student. So here I am saying command equal to add student. I am writing one more function inside this. I am writing one more function inside this. Writing a function inside function is called what? Nested functions, right? So you can write a function inside a function or not? Yes. Okay. Now here I write a function called add student. Okay, this is one function. Okay. And when you click on this button, close. This is close button. So command equal to close student window. This is closing student window. Okay. Close window. Okay. Close STUD window. So meaningful, right? STUD window. So because we are trying to close the student window, so close STUD window. But how can I close it? Window one dot destroy. You have a method called destroy here. So that will destroy the window. Now when you run this code, see here, create a student. Oh, what happened? A packer, not here. We should not write here. At the time of creating student button, where we created button here, right? This is a command is add a student, but always the function should be exist before calling, right? Okay, function must exist before calling here. So what we'll do is, so there is a create student and there is what here, close student. So here I use a command, close the student window. Close the student window, right? Close the student window. But now my functions is below, right? Then what we have to do is, always a function must exist before calling it, right? But if it is exist after calling, then there will be a problem, right? It should exist before calling, not after. Yes, before calling it should exist it. Okay, not after. So that's the reason I've written like this. Okay, so when I click on the button, it will call the function add student. When I click on this button, it will call the function called close student. 1 minute. So here I write like this. So window like this I've done. Yes. Now try to run this code. So create a student. Oh, where is the value here? Add a student. What is my function is? Add a student. Where is the error here? Close STUD window. Command is add underscore STUD student. Already something is there. Huh? So what is the name of the function? Add student button, and here I said command add underscore student. Two times button is there. Huh? Where it is there still? Oh, 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 oh. We need to delete that. Yeah. So there we have to delete. Yeah. Thanks. Here we have to delete from here because we copied there, right? Yes. So after this, now run the code here. Now create student. Now you can click on close. So this will close the window. Now your window get closed here. Your window get closed here, right? Okay, right. So I think you understood up to this, right, dear students? Up to this clear? Up to this clear, right? Okay. Now when you click on this button add student, then we should read the details and we should store these details into database. Okay, we should read these details and we should store these details into database, right? So you are reading the details. So what are the details you are reading? You are reading roll number, E1 dot get. You are reading name, E2 dot get, and you are reading the course. Okay, E3 dot get. You are reading the date of joining, E4 dot get. You are reading fees, E5 dot get. Okay, you are reading all the details. Okay, then the command is insert into. What is your table is student. Insert into student values. Give the parameters percentages, 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 percentages. This is the command with parameters or not? Yes. This is an SQL command with parameters. Means this is dynamic SQL statement. This is which statement? Dynamic SQL statement. This is dynamic SQL statement here. This is dynamic SQL statement. Okay. Fees we should convert. Okay, we should convert, no problem, because we are sending it as a float, right? Okay. Now we'll convert read and then yeah, float of E5 dot get because fees is float type. Okay, right? Then after that, you create a cursor connection dot cursor, then cursor dot execute. Now here I'm trying to handle the exception try block. Cursor dot execute. What you are executing command, and you define the parameters, that is roll number, name, course, date of joining, and then fees. On successful execution, I should display one message. Then how can I display the message box? I want to display a message box. Okay, how can I display the message box is import Tkinter dot. You have to import one more module called what is that message box. Okay, you should import one more module called message box. So that module contain various functions, right? So what is the command? The command is insert. How to insert the values into a database? You are inserting values within the database by sending which command? SQL command. This is SQL command. Insert into student values. Okay, now these are the replacement values. Now this percentage is get replaced with what? Roll number. This percentage get replaced with the variable called name, like that, right? But here percentage s only. Percentage s only, even though it is float, you have to use a replacement field as percentage s only. Even though it is for float, you have to use a replacement field as what? Percentage s only, right? Now on successful, I'm using Tkinter dot. There is one module called message box, and in this message box you have a different types of message windows, and here I am displaying the window called show info. Okay, show info is there. Okay, you have a various functions in this. Okay, you have a, various functions in this, like show error. Okay, you get different types of what do you call it as windows. Okay, you get different types of windows, right? Now here I am displaying the information message by using show info. That is there in what message box. You'll say message box dot show info. Okay, that will display the information message. And whenever you display the message, you display the message along with the title. Okay, you display the message along with what here? Title. So show info. What is the title I'm giving is info, and then you have to define the message. Okay, title, and you have to display the message. What is the message? Student is created. Student created. This is nothing but successful message. But on suppose if there is any error while inserting it, then you are handling it by saying Tkinter dot. I'm saying your message box dot show error. Okay, show error. Now I'm displaying the error message. Sorry, I'm displaying the error message by saying show error. So show error, and this is an error saying that error in creating student. Error in creating student. So there will be different reasons why there is a error is. Like if student is already exist, then even though you'll get an error, now I'm saying connection dot commit. So that is nothing but saving changes. Saving changes can be done by saying connection dot commit, right? So this is a code what I've written. Now run the code here. Okay, create a student. So I just input roll number, name of the student, and course of the student, and then I try to input date of joining. Yes, and I try to input the fees, and then click on add. Now you can see student what here created. Okay, student is what created. This is a message window. Now unsuccessful, but which one is the primary key? Roll number is a primary. Suppose if I click on add again, I get an error. Why? Because this roll number is already exist. If I click on add, now this is error message. This is error creating student. Error creating what? Student. Now just click on close. So I close this window also. Now just verify in the backend. Select a star from. Okay, select a star from. What is the table is student. Now you can see one student is created here. One student is created with roll number, name, course, date of joining, and one more is a fees. Right? Yes. Yes. Now you can run this code again. Now we'll try to insert one more student. Okay, create a student. Now you can input the roll number and name of the student and course of the student, and you can use the date of joining here and some fees of the student and click on some add. You can see student is created and then you can close it. But once the student is created, they should clear that data. Unsuccessful creation, it should clear that data. Okay, unsuccessful creation, then it should clear that data. So what will I do is I write one global function inside this create student. So here on successful creation, we should clear the data, right? So you should get the message student created, then immediately should clear it. Clear means you should delete. Means e1 dot delete from 0 to tk dot end. E2 dot delete some 0 dot tk dot from beginning to ending. You are deleting everything. E3 dot delete 0 comma tk dot end. Okay, E4 dot delete so 0 comma tk dot end, and E5 dot delete because you can input one more roll number. Okay, so you are deleting the existing data. When if it is successful, right? Now run the code again. Now I'm writing a create student. Now this is roll number 3. Okay, now this is the name of the student and course here, date of joining. So I just given date of joining and some fees here. Then click on add button. Yes, student is created. Now data is cleared here. Is it existing data is there? No. Destroy means closing window. Destroy means it close it. Okay, because I want to add one more roll number. Then again I have to say create student, right? Okay. So I'm not destroying the window, but rather than I'm just clearing the content. Okay. Now if I click on close, then it will destroy the window. Right? Okay. Now this is how you are trying to add it. Understood of this code? See, coding you have to understand. See how much code we have written. Everything written in one program only. But we write everything in one program by dividing into pieces. And these pieces generally you call it as functions, right? And we write a function inside a function, right? Now this is the logic for only this is a logic for only for which one? This logic is for which one? Creating only. Okay, so project means capstone project or simple project. Project means it is not done in 1 day or 1 hour, right? So you write it so many days because a lot of things or lot of operations you do within the project. So don't think that this is over. No, I've just taken only one part, not complete also. Yes or no? Okay. Then next is now done this. After this, next button is okay. Now next we'll try to add functionality of okay. Next we'll try to add the functionality of list students. Okay. Yes. I say no. It is 5 days. Means I'll take up to Friday. Means whatever projects I can able to explain, I'll explain it. Okay, right? How to develop it like that. See, if you do it, that will be a good, so that I can move to next application. For example, if you're able to do list student, search student, delete student, that will be good. But if I'm writing everything, then definitely it will take time. Yes or no? Okay. If I'm writing everything, live coding, right? So live coding means definitely because I'm writing the code, so that will take some time. Okay. So whatever possible things are there, I'll try to do it. Okay. Yeah. For example, list students is there. List students. So I want to list all the students exist within the. I want to list all the students exist within the table. So again, I'm creating connection dot cursor. I created here cursor object. I created cursor object. Okay. Then what is the query? Cursor dot execute. I should say select star from what is the table is student. Then it will execute this query and where it stores the result is in cursor, and you can fetch the data from cursor by saying cursor dot fetch all. So this will fetch all the rows into one list as a tuples. Each row it fetch as one tuple, right? So here I try to use a method called fetch all. Here I try to use one method called fetch all. And this data I should place in one window. Some window. I'm creating some window here, right? So any name you can give list window or window, some W equal to tk dot tk. Yes. So this window size, the window size, and based on the number of labels, what you are trying to place it, right? So what you are trying to place it based on that. I'm saying here window dot geometry. So define the size here. Some 300 into 300. And then what I'm doing is window dot title, and I'm writing a student list. Okay. Yes. Then every time I'm reading one row from rows, every time I read one row from rows, okay, then these values I'm displaying in labels. Okay. How many labels I'm creating is you can create a labels or entry fields, no problem. Suppose there is a label called roll number. Okay. So tk dot label window. What is the text is str of, okay, row 0, row of 0, okay, row of 0, okay. So row of 0 you can define like this, okay. And I define the width of this label. Now I don't write, like I just write a font, and then font is what here, some Arial, and 15 is a size, okay. So like that I need to create number of labels, 4 5 labels, right? This is name, and this is what here, course, this is date of joining, and this is fees. And indexes are, this is one, because tuple, from tuple, each tuple we are reading, each tuple is one student, each tuple is one student. Rows is a list. In list you have a tuples, and each tuple is one row. And from tuple, how you are reading data? By using index. From tuple, how you are reading data? Using index, right? Okay. Then after that we need to put this. So Arial, Arial spelling, okay, okay, right. So in the tuple, then window, see here, window, in window you have to place it. Yes or no? So roll number dot grid. So in grid, what I'm doing is the row you are changing it, but columns will be the same. Row will be changing, but row is a variable. This row is a variable from where you are reading all the rows. Okay, str of row, why? Because label contain only text. Not required, because roll number is string only, right? You don't require. Yes, by mistake, might be a mistake. It is. You can write this because anyway, roll number is string only, right? Yes or no? Name is a string. You don't require this. Okay. Yeah, you don't require this. But here you required fees. Fees you required a string, right? Because all these are which type? String type. So there is a column 0. Okay. Then name dot grid. Okay, same row. Column is 1, and course dot grid, same row, but column is a 2, and uh, date of joining dot grid, same row, but column is a 3, and fees dot grid, same row, but column is what here, 4. And then next what you have to do is row equal to row plus 1. So where row r value get incremented here, next row 0, then 1 2 3 like that. Okay. Now this function I should call it. This function I should call it when I click on list students. Okay, so command. So what is the command? What is the name of the function is list students. Okay, list underscore students. Okay. list underscore students. I call this function, right? Now, when you run this code, see here, when you run this code, now I said list student int, where is that error is? Grid. Oh, r equal to row equal to, so we have to take some other name here because row is a reserved, right? Keyword argument. So we'll just use this as a data, right? Because in grid I have to use, yeah, this is tuple. We'll take it as tuple. Okay, from tuple we read first value. From tuple we read second value. From tuple we read the third value, fourth value, and we read fifth value. But whenever you write this, you should write with a row. Keyword argument it is row equal to r. So we have to define the row equal to r, and initially what is r is 0. Okay, row equal to r, but initially what is a row is 0. Okay, so that is a mistake. Okay, yes, is a keyword argument. It is a keyword argument. Run the code. So list students, you can see these are student details, roll number, name, course, and what is that fees. Okay, now you can increase. What you can increase, width you can increase. Width you are increasing to 400. Now you can put one button inside this called close. Okay, list students. Now these are the list of students. The student. So this label is roll number. This labels are name. This is course, and this is date of joining, and this is the fees. So for that, I've taken one for loop here. Okay, what is tuple? If you don't know, then you have to wait until you complete the topic, right? So borrow. Okay, you have to know basic knowledge of Python, right? List tuple. You know list tuples? No, list tuple stays. You know all this, so borrow. Okay, that is the basic things you require to understand this project. You know list. List is mutable, tuple is immutable. Over. After creating list, you can do changes, but after creating tuple, you cannot do changes. Okay, right? Okay, that is the difference. It is like a list only. Okay, na? Right. Yes, I think you understood this code, what I write. Okay, somewhat. Because a lot of code I've written here, right? Lot of code I've written here. Yes. And what we'll do is tomorrow we'll complete this too, searching, deleting, and updating. And then I'll tell you one more application. And this time we'll have multiple tables. Okay, now we have used only one table, right? We'll have a multiple tables, how to use multiple database tables in your application. We'll take a simple example and we'll do it. Okay, because I have a class now, so we'll have tomorrow, right? So today we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue this. Okay, thank you. We'll see tomorrow, right? Yeah, I already uploading these notes in my Telegram. Already uploaded some notes in my Telegram. Yeah, I'll upload now only. Yesterday I uploaded after immediately class. Yes. Okay, right. No, I'll upload it. Don't worry. You want project on Django REST API? Definitely. We'll have a project on Django with REST API. Also, we'll have it. Okay. Yes. I'll try to conduct. Okay. Project on Django. Okay. Yes. Yeah. That you can do it. Now that is here we are not talking about any users. Now that is what we'll discuss tomorrow, Ajit. Like student login, admin login. Yes, we'll put that. Okay, student login, admin login, different people's login, right? Okay, that we'll see. So Telegram already I've given. Okay, this is my Telegram ID. You can join this Telegram ID. Okay, right? Yes. Thank you. We'll see tomorrow. Thank you.